Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Skyrim is a game. It is one of the games that isn't not like other games. Hod Tower gave birth to Skyrim in 2011 when I was 10, which means that in the whopping 13 years this game has been out, I still refuse to buy the anniversary edition on PC because I've given Bethesda enough of my money over the years. Fun fact, I own every single Fallout game and I've only ever played Fallout 4. Anyway, today I wanted to ask the question, can you beat Skyrim as Steve from Minecraft? This run is quite straightforward and there aren't many rules. I can only use the notched pickaxe to deal damage. I can only wear iron armor. I can't use any magic and I can only use shouts when I have to. To spice the run up a bit, I decided to also do the Civil War questline with whom I sided with the Imperial as I'm not a rat bastard. I chose to play as an orc as they are my go-to for any melee class as their unique power of doubling damage and receiving half damage can be very useful. I totally didn't forget about this power until nearly the end of the game and definitely used it more than twice. Alduin stops by to say thank you and I failed a speedrunning technique 3 times. I just bolted towards Helgen Keep where I enter with Hadvar. This is actually the first time I ever went through Helgen Keep without attacking anyone. Honestly, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. It was more so a waiting game for Hadvar and the other Imperial soldiers to take down the Stormcloaks while I run around and distract them. After escaping Helgen, I make my way to the Standing Stones to pick up the Warrior Stone and then just hightail it to Riverwood to rob Alvor of his belongings before he sends me the Whiterun to inform Jarl Baldcuff and Chain about the dragons returning, as if it wasn't for me escaping prison after committing what we can only assume is a heinous crime, then the world as we know it would cease to exist with the return of the dragons. I head back to the Stormcloak camp in the last video to steal a horse and make my way to the throat of the world to get my weapon as soon as possible, as without this, I am essentially a walking boxing bag. After pissing off the guards by stealing their horse, I scale the largest mountain until I find my prized possession and my one and only weapon for this whole playthrough. A pickaxe rightfully named the Notched Pickaxe that deals a whopping base 6 damage and has the unique enchantment to raise the wielder's smithing abilities and also do a 5 shock damage to enemies with each hit. I tested out on some nearby malachite and at least we know it works. I fast travel back to the Standing Stones to take on a nearby group of bandits as one of them will almost always have a full set of iron armor. To be honest, I only decided on this iron armor only rule when I slaughtered them, so that's why I was wearing light armor beforehand. Also, the only reason I decided to put this rule in place was that in Minecraft, having an iron pickaxe and iron armor is very much so starting gear. And if I spent an hour or two grinding smithing to get disgustingly OP armor, then where's the fun in that? I sell what I can to Luke and besides my enchanted gear so I can disenchant him to level up that skill tree. I make my way to Bleachfall's Burrow to test out my weapon and yeah, it's fine. For now, but I imagine as we get further into the game it'll start to drop off easily. I'm writing the script after having recorded the video and I think the base damage at the end of the game I was doing was 17 damage instead of 6. So that's definitely an increase for sure, but not a good one, but an increase nonetheless. I make my way through the start of the dungeon and yeah, see that damage without the enchantment? Yeah, have fun and no. I wasn't doing any exploits like the Dawnstar chest glitch to stock up on gems. However, I will say that the only quote-unquote glitch I performed in this run was the vendor inventory glitch, as really this is just a time save, as it saves me having to wait 48 hours in-game for the inventory to restock. We make it to the wounded spider without much of an issue, but he has me worried. We're doing minimal damage and really the only thing I think that saved me during this run was the ability to block and riposte in a way. We cut down Avril Lavigne, stealing her inventory, and after doing some miserable damage to the Draugr without my enchantment, taking approx 10 hits to take down a regular Draugr, I tried not to run past every enemy as there's not much of a challenge in that now, is there? After reaching the end of the dungeon, I take on the Overlord, having banked a level up to heal myself during the fight, and we come out victorious. I steal what I can only assume is his only legacy and make my way to Whiterun to inform Mr. Ball Torture of the dragons returning. Not knowing who I am, he blindly trusts me with his Wizards of Fire and then sends me on a wild chase to go defeat a dragon spotted nearby. Compared to my last run of Skyrim playing with just my fist at level 1, link in the description by the way, this fight goes much easier than that of my previous run. I again save a level up to heal and take him out no bother before quickly returning to Jarl's silly coward and informing him I am the chosen one, like Harry Potter, not like Neville Longbottom. I pick up some soul gems from Farfinger and disenchant what I can. I then make my way to Solitude to get started on the Civil War quest line, as really the only reason I chose this side quest line and not one of the others is because I really did not want to sit through the Peace Council again. If this was an extra 3 hours or so of gameplay, was it worth it to skip a 10-minute chat? No, but this is YouTube, damn it, and we need a challenge. After telling Tullius I want to also remove the racist, his second in command sends me on a death quest to take over an entire fort by myself. essentially sending me on a suicide quest. I make it to Fort Herstad and do pitiful damage to the bandits. After clearing the bandits that are outside, we head inside where this lowly bandit chief gives me about 10 times the trouble I was expecting and bested me on more than one occasion. I make my way to the other part of the fort to clear out the remaining bandits so I can tell the legate what a good job I did. I get sworn into the army and I am tasked to help a squad retrieve the pointiest crown in all the land. Before I go get the crown, I go talk to the Redbeards, where I again have to prove myself by shouting at the top of my lungs at a summoned peasant. I'm taught to go fast so I can retrieve yet another ancient artifact to yet again prove myself to some strangers. I make my way to Ostengrad, where I actually don't have much trouble at all. I hop, skip and jump to the end of the dungeon after only one accidental death, where I learned that my holy artifact, the Horn of Jurgen, who got eliminated in the Great British Bake Off, has been taken by someone else and now I have to track them down too. After returning to Riverwood and being greeted by my biggest fans, I sell what I can and rent the attic room. I follow Delphine down to the basement of no return, as I am convinced she actually bangs us on the head in this room and the rest of the game is actually a dream. Delphine tells me about the next dragon attack, so I go there to be met by the very same dragon by the start of the game. I wonder if he remembers me. Sulkinir is actually a little bit of trouble, causing me a few potions, but like the rest of them, he falls to my pickaxe. And where is Delphine? Absolutely nowhere to be fucking seen anyway until after the fight. She tells that dragons are coming back to life and that magic elves will know more about it. I go back to High Mountaintop to return the Horn of Jurgen, Caller, Wind and Black Forest, where I am shouted at by 4 old men in what I can only assume is a sexual fetish they have. I go meet up with the Imperial soldiers to get the spiky crown back to Mr. Tullius. I know with this quest line they throw a considerable amount of enemies at you but are lower health, presumably to make you feel like a badass warrior, but when you have a pickaxe or a weapon it's more so like fighting regular enemies with a less than average weapon. When we make it to the end of the dungeon, I have to chug a few potions but mainly try to stay on top of the Draugr Scourge and then get the fuck out of this cave, where I make my way back to Tullius, who tells me what a good job I'm doing. He sends me to Whiterun with a message for Jarl bullshit, where I do some quick enchanting of my items as my damage is just horrendous. We give Mr. Greater the letter and he gives me an axe to deliver to Ulfric the Racist, which he promptly denies and informs me that Whiterun is in danger much sooner than we think. So thanks for the heads up, I guess. With Whiterun in danger, I make my way back to Dolphin so she can send me to infiltrate the Elf Embassy to learn what we can about dragons. And do you want to know what they know? They know fuck all, of course, but they do know about Esbern, an old man who can tell us answers. We give Marlborough Light our goods to sneak in for us and make our way up via horse carriage in our fanciest attire. We cause a distraction with razor blades and get our gear back, but not before looting the kitchen for everything we can. For once, the embassy isn't nearly as much trouble as it can be, and we make our way out the back door and then back in the back door to take on a pissy wizard and his minions before we get the information we need about Esbern, kill that one guy who fucked me over in the last playthrough, take on the frost troll at the exit, and then make our way back to Riverwood to inform the devil about Eziez and the gang. We return the magic axe to the Jarl a few in-game days later when Whiterun starts being attacked by the Stormcloaks, which all in all takes about 3 minutes to fend them off before they cower back to Stupid Town. I have also never seen these Stormcloak generals before and I'm playing with no mods, so maybe I'm just oblivion? Who knows? Now is where the somewhat real fun starts. We steal documents from a Stormcloak guard to forge them and deliver them to their commander. We then proceed to take over Fort Dunstad before making our way to Riften to do 2 things. Blackmail the steward and find Eziez. We have a conversation face to face and I'm told about a cart full of gold and weapons. I make my way down to the skeever hole that is under Riften, where we meet an old friend and bribe the barman to tell us where Esbern is. After finding Esbern, we escort him back to his waifu. Do you know where we're going? What about now? Yeah, fuck this part of the game. I grabbed the Elder Scroll. Really, the next hour of gameplay is going to be 4 takeovers, so I won't bore you with that anymore. Fast forward and we're at Windhelm to finally take down Master Racist version 2.0. We deny him the satisfaction of being killed by the Dragonborn and steal his clothes before we make our way to Kynesgrove, finally find out how to defeat Alduin once and for all. After a quick reminder of my teen years, we make our way to the Magic Wall of Destiny, where Esbern tells us a shout is used to defeat Alduin. We make our way back to the Greenbeards, where we have thought clear skies, and make our way up to the throat of the world, where luckily we've already been, so we can just fast travel and talk to Optimus Prime. We sit through the unskippable cutscene and learn Dragon Rend, where we can finally take down Alduin once and for all. Compared to my last run, this was an absolute walk in the park. Having a banked level up in my pocket and plenty of gems on hand for my pickaxe, we get him on the first try, then he flies back to the afterlife somehow, where we now have to go without dying. We chat to Optimus Prime, Jarl Ballscruff, Esbern, Jarl Ballscruff again, call a dragon over for a play date, trap him, ask him to serve under us for all of eternity, free him, and then he flies me to the last dungeon of the game, where as per usual we hop skip through till we get to the portal to Sovengarde, where we encounter Mr. Racist for one last time before taking on Soon. talking to the terrible trio, and then finally taking in Alduin once and for all. Weirdly enough, he doesn't actually give you a dragon soul, so maybe he's still alive. Honestly, at this point, I don't know and I don't care. We return back to Snoop Dogg Mountain where we return our master pickaxe, and I can say yes, you can beat Skyrim as Steve from Minecraft. If you have any suggestions for runs, please leave them in the comments, and with that, I've been Dara and have a good day.